Hey guys, it's Ricky from Prince of Travel, and today we're going to talk about the best credit cards with no foreign transaction fees. You know how they say don't meet your heroes? Well, I met Sebastian from Ask Sebi, and he was actually pretty awesome. Last week I was down in San Francisco as part of a quick hop of the US West Coast, and since I was down in the US, I thought I would make this video about the best solutions for spending money when you're abroad between your credit cards, your prepaid cards, and other foreign spending solutions. What are the best credit cards in Canada that have no foreign transaction fees? How can you withdraw money abroad without incurring foreign transaction fees? And in what situations might it make sense to incur foreign transaction fees anyway, because the rewards or the perks might outweigh them? In this video, I'll share with you the strategy that I personally use when it comes to optimizing my spend when I'm traveling abroad. If you like this type of content, then one way to support the channel is to give it a thumbs up. Sorry, I meant if that sounds good to you, then make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe to the Prince of Travel YouTube channel just as the video is starting out right here. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Let's begin on the credit card side. What are the best credit cards in Canada for spending when you're traveling abroad? Now, unfortunately, because most of Canada's banks are, what's the word I'm looking for? Greedy beyond comparison, most of the banks charge a standard 2.5% foreign transaction fee on any transaction that's made in a foreign currency. And there are only a few banks that have decided to differentiate themselves by offering 0% foreign transaction fees as a major perk of the card. And there are three major players in this space: HSBC World Elite MasterCard, the Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite, and the Scotiabank Gold American Express. These three cards are generally the most often recommended solutions for no FX fees here in Canada. They correspond to the three payment networks of MasterCard, Visa, and American Express, but beyond that, we can also do a little bit of further comparison. All three cards have annual fees in a similar range. The HSBC World Elite, $149, Scotiabank Passport, $139, Scotia Gold Amex, $120, and all three of them routinely offer first-year free bonuses. As travel-oriented products, they also have strong earning rates on travel purchases. The HSBC World Elite with 3% return on travel and 1.5% on everything else. The Scotia Gold Amex with up to 5% return on dining, groceries, and entertainment, 3% return on gas, transit, and streaming, and 1% return on everything else. And the Scotia Passport with 2% on groceries, dining, transit, and entertainment, and 1% on everything else. Something very important to note here, though, is that the 5% return on the Scotia Gold Amex only applies on purchases made within Canada. So perhaps it's more useful for actually making your big purchases at the grocery store, but not so useful for traveling abroad. Compare that to the HSBC and the Scotia Passport, and these elevated earning rates actually apply when you're traveling abroad, and so they may be more useful for your foreign spending. In terms of the additional perks and possibilities, each of these three cards have their strengths. The HSBC World Elite offers HSBC rewards points, which can actually be transferred out to frequent flyer partners like Avios, Asia Miles, and Singapore KrisFlyer Miles. Scotia rewards points on the other two cards can only be redeemed one-to-one against travel purchases. You can't get outsized value from the points. If we take a look at the Scotia Passport, we can see that it offers Priority Pass lounge access, which the other two cards do not offer. The Scotia Passport comes with 6 complimentary visits to a Priority Pass lounge every year, and until June 2022, it also comes with 6 complimentary visits to a Plaza Premium lounge due to the ongoing bad blood between Plaza Premium and Priority Pass. And when it comes to the Scotiabank Gold American Express, because it's the only card on the American Express network, you actually have the ability to enroll this card and all of its supplementary cards into Amex offers. And so you can do things like shop small offers for a total of $50 in statement credits on your various purchases, or any other type of various discounts on various purchases that you'll come through with Amex offers. So that's a comparison of the three major no foreign transaction fee credit cards in Canada. They're all great cards to get every now and then for the sign-up bonuses, but if I had to keep one just for the no foreign transaction fee cards and for the ongoing benefits from the card, it would probably be the HSBC World Elite MasterCard. That's because even though this card has a $149 annual fee, it also comes with a $100 travel enhancement credit every year, which can be redeemed against any purchase you make on, let's say, Expedia.ca, and therefore it's basically as good as cash. Now that brings the ongoing annual fee to $49 year after year, and I find that a very reasonable price to pay in exchange for no foreign transaction fees, as well as the ability to earn up to 3% on travel purchases and 1.5% on other purchases, including the ability to also transfer points to airline partners, all on a MasterCard that has widespread acceptance, especially when I'm traveling abroad. Now, those three cards I would say should be the primary focus for anybody who's looking to get a no foreign transaction fee card in Canada. But actually, there's also a few other players in the space that are worth mentioning. There's two cards from young financial upstart in Canada, Brim Financial, that you might consider. The first is the Brim World Elite, which offers 2% cashback on all purchases and no foreign transaction fees. Now, 2% cashback on a MasterCard is pretty great, but the card does come with an annual fee of $199 after the first year. So it's definitely not the cheapest option, but if you do prefer cashback to points, then it might just be the option that's right for you. Now, the other card from Brim that you might consider is the no-fee Brim MasterCard. This card only offers 1% return on all purchases. It has no annual fee and it has no foreign transaction fees. So it might be the right fit for you if you're looking for that foreign spending solution, but you don't want to pay any annual fees compared to the three major cards that we talked about before. Now, those are, I would say, the simple solutions: getting a credit card with no foreign transaction fees here in Canada and using it when you're spending abroad. I'd like to also introduce a few other considerations when it comes to optimizing your spend when you're traveling outside of Canada. The first is, of course, using a credit card with no transaction fees is a great idea if you're making purchases at the payment terminal. But sometimes you're also going to need cash on hand, especially if you're doing touristy things like going to the markets, or if you're going somewhere where credit cards just aren't quite as accepted. So what's the best solution for when you need to withdraw money from the ATM when you're traveling abroad? Because after all, you can't do that with a credit card. Even if you don't pay any FX fees, you will pay the cash advance charges and the interest on that cash advance. Well, there is a good solution for it, and that's the Stack Prepaid MasterCard that you can find here in Canada. The Stack Prepaid MasterCard comes with 0% foreign transaction fees, which sets it apart from its peers in the prepaid card market. And because it's a prepaid card rather than a credit card, you're not going to incur any cash advance fees for withdrawing cash from the ATM. Instead, you can simply load up your Stack account through Interac e-transfers. You can even load up the account right when you're traveling, just before you need to withdraw the money, and then withdraw the money with 0% cash advance fees and 0% foreign transaction fees. For me, the Stack Prepaid MasterCard is the best way to guarantee an optimal exchange rate when I'm withdrawing cash along my travels. Now, keep in mind the ATM itself might still incur a fee of about a few dollars, and that'll be paid on your Stack MasterCard itself, but that's typically unavoidable, and it's fairly rare to find an ATM that actually doesn't charge any fees when you're traveling abroad. So when I'm traveling, in my wallet, I've got Canadian issued credit cards with no foreign transaction fees, typically the HSBC World Elite. I've got the Stack Prepaid MasterCard for withdrawing cash, and I've also got US issued credit cards that also have no foreign transaction fees that I also use for my foreign spending. This segment of the strategy will only really be relevant if you've gotten into collecting US credit cards as a Canadian. Now, I know this is a topic we've covered many times on the channel before. We have a guide for getting US credit cards as a Canadian over on princeoftravel.com. But if you'd like to see an updated video on the topic, and I know a few of you do, make sure to leave a comment below to let me know. The more comments we get, the sooner we'll make the video. But as we all know, US credit cards tend to have better rewards compared to Canadian credit cards, and indeed, it can be a lot powerful to be earning US MR points or Chase points compared to HSBC rewards points or Scotia rewards points if you're using the Canadian issued cards that have no foreign transaction fees. And keep in mind, most of the US issued credit cards that are worth getting already have no foreign transaction fees as one of the core benefits of the card. It's not like up here in Canada where there's little competition and only a few cards have that benefit. Most US cards that are worth their salt already have 0% foreign transaction fees. That's not to say that you won't incur an FX impact if you're spending on the cards as a Canadian though. After all, you do need to convert your Canadian dollars into US dollars to pay off the credit cards if you don't already have another source of US dollars. And when you do that, there might be an FX impact of about 1% on even the cheapest money transfer services like TransferWise or Knightsbridge. But even considering that FX impact, it might still be worthwhile if you're able to rack up US MR points or Chase points, which you can then redeem for a much higher outsized value through some of their transfer partners compared to the Canadian native no FX currencies like HSBC or Scotia Rewards. And so that's one reason why it might be a good idea to spend on your US issued cards when you're traveling abroad. Indeed, for myself, I tend to spend on a mix of my US issued Chase Sapphire Preferred and my US issued Amex cards, as well as the HSBC World Elite, depending on which payment method the vendor takes and also which points I'm in the mood to collect that day. And that brings me to my final point about foreign spending, which is sometimes even the 2.5% foreign transaction fee might be worth paying if the rewards outweigh the fee. After all, most of Canada's best credit cards actually do charge that 2.5% foreign transaction fee. So if you're looking to meet a big minimum spend and unlock a big welcome bonus, let's say on the Business Platinum card with $10,000, or say the Aeroplan Reserve card with $6,000, and if you're making some of that spend in a foreign currency, even if you do pay that 2.5% foreign transaction fee, but you're working towards a big bonus, it can still be worthwhile. So anyway, in my wallet when I'm traveling, I've got my Canadian issued no FX fee credit cards, I've got my Stack prepaid MasterCard, I've got my US issued rewards cards, and finally, I like to carry around a little bit of US dollars in cash as well. You just never know when you might need some cash on hand. Maybe there's no ATM nearby, and so you've got to hit up a currency exchange, or there's places around the world where US dollars is gladly accepted in addition to the local currency. And so I find always having about 100 to 200 US dollars on hand whenever I'm traveling is a nice safety buffer or a little backup plan whenever I'm on the road. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it helpful to think about what are the best ways to optimize your spending when you're traveling outside of Canada. If so, go ahead and hit the like button down below and subscribe to the Prince of Travel YouTube channel. Just click the subscribe button below the video. Let me know in the comments below what's your preferred method for optimizing your foreign spend when you're embarking on international trips, and I'll see you in the next video. Brim.